Comfy shoes? Yes. Comfort zone? No. Comfy pants? Yes. Comfort zone? No. Comfy couch? Definitely yes. Comfort zone? Nope. Comfy sweatshirt? Yes. Comfort zone? No.
Oh, what's this? Your new mantra?
No. I'm separating my graphic tees.
You have 4 separate teas for the no pile, and they all say comfort zone?
Yeah, it made sense at the time.
Welcome to the Career Corrective, your career lifeline that gives you laugh lines with Jenny and Allie.
Hey, listeners.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we made a little nickname for you that we're going to share in a little bit, actually in seconds. But today we are continuing our series on self-sabotage, talking about the comfort zone.
Ooh, get in the zone. Comfort zone. I love it.
You do?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the benefits of the comfort zone?
Or maybe how to bust out of the comfort zone.
Really? But
Yeah.
we normally talk about how to slow down, calm the nervous system, recharge. That's the zone right there, right?
Hey, I'm all about pampering yourself. And by the way, we should spa date with our listeners where we all go to our local spa, pamper ourselves. Absolutely. But this is just a little different where even though that's so important, so many of us crave the challenge and we want you to do your best, live your best life. And so that's what this episode is about, how to get to the good stuff.
I'm just messing with you. You're always so passionate about these things, Allie.
You love to mess with me. You're passionate about messing with me.
I am. This is true. Maybe we could tell our listeners our loving nickname that we created for them. What do you think?
Okay. So we were thinking about what we're really doing here, what this show is all about, who we're really talking to. So if you are hanging out with us, we thought you might have a little bit of the same qualities as us. And we really tried to define what special things kind of brew together to make that the case. And we came up with anxious achievers. I hope that is not offensive because it's lovingly meant, how you're a deeply caring person, but you probably hold yourself to extremely high standards, tune in to what others are feeling, highly empathetic. You sometimes delay some stuff because you've got some perfectionism going on. You overthink things, and we have experienced this. This is where we've lived. This is why we wanted to start the podcast, because with all of this going on, life can feel a little extra. And working and thriving with people who don't experience these things can be a superpower and a strength. But if it gets out of control or a little bit too far, it can lead to burnout. You can have imposter syndrome. And I know anyone can have any of these things, but our peeps are anxious achievers who just live in this world with all this going on and still persevere and stay true to themselves. So that's why.
I love that. Yeah. I also want to say, if you're someone who's scratching their head and thinks, how the heck did, this moron get into leadership, and how do people who have no self-awareness, they think they're so great, like how do they do it?
Yeah.
So Allie and I are going to help you deal with all of that and help you so that you can shine.
Yes.
What we're doing, Allie.
Yeah. Yes. I love it.
Yeah. anything new with you before we get into that? Really, no new yogurt recipes on my end. I don't know if you have any new ones.
No Greek yogurt updates.
I have no Greek yogurt updates. I don't even have any in the house right now, so I'm kind of freaking out.
Oh my. There's a hurricane a coming. You
I
gotta
gotta
get your
get
Greek
my
yogurt.
yogurt. I gotta get my yogurts, put them on ice. Keep some power.
Yes.
Yeah. No, what do you got going on in the kitchen?
It's really simple. This week I found this channel. I have to give it to Regina so she can put it on our Instagram because I think a lot of people would love it. I think it's called Flexible Lifestyle Eating. The guy made chicken, and it wasn't even about the dish he made. The reason I'm talking about this is because I think it could help people with their weekly quick, whether you do meal prep or you want something quick in the evening. It was the white meat, but you can do it with either. And and this might be something that everyone already does. I don't know, but I'm this day years old. Yeah, maybe it's new to you too. Okay. I learned it this week. But basically, you take the chicken and you get all your frustrations out on it. You poke holes.
Eat it.
No, not beat it. You poke it with your fork.
Ow. Thought we were like getting the tenderizer out.
You can as well. Actually, I did both. But the piece that he taught me this week, speaking directly to me from his channel.
Right. Obviously.
Allison, you're going to want to do this. Chicken.
Like, winked. Did he wink?
You know who you are. That's what he said. It was weird. But anyway, I let that go and I followed the instructions. But you just take your fork and just poke the crap out of it and then put whatever marinade you want on there, but get something with acid, obviously, to make it tender. I got home from the grocery store. I took every one of them out. I opened up my containers, put a little bit of the simplest. It was salt, pepper, vinegar.
Really?
Yes, for
like
just a white vinegar.
Just straight up. Okay.
You could be cleaning with it or cooking with it. That kind of vinegar.
Okay.
Simple, inexpensive. But then I took some ketchup, which I know sounds weird, but I wanted the sweetness to it. Okay. So stirred that all together, salt, pepper, vinegar, and ketchup. That was it. And then I put the holy chicken in each of those. The first day I had it, it was only marinating an hour. It was so delicious.
Did you grill it? Did you bake it?
I actually did it in the air fryer.
Oh. I think I'm the only one left in the world that does not have an air fryer.
I'm really a kitchen gadget crazy person.
Well,
I have to try them all.
I know.
I mean, you live your dreams.
Well, I think that is my dream. I just don't know.
Just don't know if it is my dream.
I'm just an anxious achiever.
Go get it then. Order it from Amazon.
Okay.
Later in the week, I did nothing big, and it was delicious every single time. I thought, I want to share.
Okay. No, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
I just reminded myself of Zachariah, our favorite from Instagram.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Which we also have to link him. So if you don't know who he is, Zachariah Porter, he's like, I cooked chicken. It was delicious. I ate it all. That was it.
Your father's pissed.
That's all he does.
That's my favorite line of him. Your father's pissed.
Okay. I don't need this. I go to Myrtle Beach. Okay, so none of this is going to be funny to you guys until you see him. So we'll have to link him below.
Totally. Yes. So, all right. Well, I love that chicken recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As usual, a non-recipe recipe. Just little tips.
Little tips here and there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say we get into it, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do our segment, You Be the Judge. So usually we choose topics in the work setting since we are the career corrective, but sometimes, it makes more of an impact to tackle a topic in general, and make it more interesting for you, our listeners. So that's what we're going to do, right, Allie?
Yes, it's our philosophy that if we tackle an issue in one area of your life, it's going to help at work too. And that's what we're all about.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, are we Socrates here? It's all philosophy. That's what we do. We
Oh.
were hanging out with Plato the other day. What? Okay, so today we have an article from Forbes, and a lot of the research that I do, and I nerd out on all these topics. I read books, I've whatever. Forbes has some good stuff. So
Let's go forward.
basically, go Forbes, get it's your birthday. The article is on leadership, and it's plainly called Tips for Leaving the Comfort Zone. Number one is surround yourself with confident people. And the reason for that is because there's a psychological term, associative transformation. It basically says your behavior will change because you're around people who are confident. Jenny, want to weigh in on this?
Absolutely.
Good one.
You're hanging out with Debbie Downers.
It will affect you.
It will.
Pretty simple, straight to the point.
Straight
Okay.
up. Yep.
Take it step by step. They're saying it can feel extremely challenging and daunting to do something big, chunk it down into steps.
Okay. Do they tell you what the steps are, or like you just take it? You're on your own?
Yeah, so I think that this is going to be a lot of what we're going to be able to do, go over what they're saying, see if it's in our minds helpful and legitimate. But where we'll come in is throughout the episodes, getting into the more in depth of how to make it happen, what roadblocks could come up. These are surface level of where to begin, if you will.
Okay. All right.
Great question.
Thanks.
Okay, start small to create habits. It's talking about how you can keep yourself motivated. If it's a habit, you're not taking up any energy from your day. It's just an automatic. And this one is probably my favorite one.
Okay.
And I think it's the hardest thing for me and maybe other people. I'm really good when I get on a mission to do something and I think about it and I'm excited about it. But those little powerful daily habits where it's a no-brainer, that's where the sauce is. And I think that's the most difficult thing to actually do.
I would agree with you on that. I think it takes more effort in the beginning, right?
Yes.
To create that habit.
Yes. And you're not getting dopamine from the change. It's just kind of feels kind of boring. There's no lighting up of the pleasure center to do something that you do every day. It's like, brushing my teeth. What? So making something that isn't necessary, like hygiene, a habit, I think is, again, later in talking about these things and how to do it and really making it happen is where it'll be really helpful. But absolutely, creating habit is an amazing idea. The next one is reward yourself for doing uncomfortable things. Make it a daily practice to tackle one thing from your list and reward yourself for doing that and completing the task. What do you think of that one?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like it. Get a little treat one for pushing yourself, right? You get a little treat, whatever it is. Go get yourself a fancy coffee for making that uncomfortable phone call that you were scared to do, or talk on a conference call that you're a little nervous about.
That's actually really good.
I love rewards, so I'm all for it.
I've done this with exercise.
Okay.
So if I exercise in a way where it's something enjoyable and not go too hard or avoid it altogether, then I get to go down to the beach in the evening. So it's just a little trick.
Or talk on a conference call that you're a little nervous about.
I love it. And then train your fearless muscle. Understanding that coming out of the comfort zone is always scary. The way to become good at it is like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger you become. The more you face your fear of doing unfamiliar things, the easier it will get. What do you think of that one, Jenny?
Yes, You always talk about training your muscles.
Actually, I do. And I think
Yeah.
that doing things regularly, doing things often is the best way. It goes back to make it a habit. The more you can do to make it the norm, the less you're going to think about it, the less you're going to have a chance to freak out about it.
Right. Don't freak out. Freak in.
Freak in, not
Freak
freak
in.
out.
Yep.
And the final one is make your objective worthy of your discomfort. And I love this one. We are all about staying true to yourself here at the Career Corrective. I think that making the objective worthy of your discomfort means it's got to be meaningful to you and worthy for you. And that's when when that's your target,
Yeah.
there's no way you can go wrong because it's your dream. It's your dream.
That's right. That's right.
A good list by
Yeah.
Forbes. And what you were referencing before, it doesn't give you the how, doesn't give you all the details, but I think it's nice to start out with the fundamentals and that template of what are the things I can do, even if I don't know how to do them yet. A good start.
Right. Yeah. Start thinking about it.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yes. Let's give our listeners a little bit of context, shall we? So last week we talked about what's happening when we self-sabotage. Today, can you tell us how the comfort zone is keeping us stuck? And I want to know, how do we break free from that? Can you give us some tips and tricks?
Absolutely. I'll start out with what's happening and content warning here. You'll want to skip ahead for 2 minutes because I will reference animal testing. This was in the early 1900s. It's not recent, but it's still relevant today and at the heart of what we're talking about. In behavioral psychology, Robert Yerkes and John Dodson conducted one of the first experiments that showed the link between anxiety and performance. Cutting to the heart of it, so that we don't have to stay on this too long, is that they found that when they shocked mice to a certain extent, they would complete the maze. But if they went above a certain threshold, the mice began to hide rather than perform. And this has been shown to be the same in human beings, not at all with shocking, but anxiety provoking stimuli in your body, whether that comes from a realistic fear or a perceived fear, doesn't matter. If you have a little bit of that, you're going to meet the challenge. It's kind of think of, oh, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm kind of pumped for the presentation I have to give or the trip I'm going on because I have to fly. You're excited about the benefits of going on the trip, but the flight might make you feel a little bit nervous, but you feel amped up. But if they asked you to fly the plane, then that might be, and you have no training, that would go above what?
That's a bit much, yes.
You would become paralyzed in the metaphorical sense and not be able to perform. That's a very silly example to show you the point, but they developed the Yerkes-Dodson law, and it's been proven to be true for all types of performance. It could be a stressful task, also relates to our quest of understanding ourselves, relating to others, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence we were talking about on a prior episode. Boils down to our nervous system has a Goldilocks zone, and too little stimulus, then you remain in your comfort zone and boredom sets in and you don't go for the things that you want, but too much and you enter the panic zone. So we're trying to live your dreams in the middle.
Yeah. Right in the comfy, a little more than comfy.
Yes.
Middle.
Yes. Middle.
Okay. Let's help our listeners by creating a clearer picture of these so we can map out a path to the zone where they can live their dreams, Allie.
Yeah. There's an amazing graphic on positivepsychology.com, and there's a toolkit there called Leaving the Comfort Zone. So to make it fun, I want to talk about Elle Woods and her journey.
We're going back. We're going back in time.
All the way to the 1990s. I think that's when that movie came out. I want to illustrate this through the story of Legally Blonde, and it'll be short and sweet. We're not going to rehash the whole movie,
We're
but
not?
no, no. We can talk about Bruiser the dog if you need to.
Okay. Okay.
But at the beginning of the movie, Elle Woods is in her comfort zone. So that's the first zone. And in that zone, she happily prepares for what she thinks will be a marriage proposal from Warner.
Ugh.
Warner. In that part of the movie, which is very short, that's not what the movie's about, but she's in her comfort zone. She's in that bubbly safety zone where she's surrounded by people who adore her. They compliment her style. That's really what her life is about. It's about fashion, luxury, parties, status, all of that stuff. And her boyfriend is really the main crux of her identity, fashion and him. And so
Right.
she's in her comfort zone. Then she goes to the fear zone, which is the next level in this graphic. That's when Warner dumps her. This is where you're really affected by the opinions of others. She tells herself the only way to win him back is proving that she's smart enough. She decides she wants to get into Harvard Law. So the impetus for her going to law school is to regain his approval. So the fear zone is where you're making decisions based on what other people think. And this is something that I am extremely passionate about because as an anxious achiever, I've really carved out my own path and in every aspect of my life and done things that aren't always the most popular. As an example, I've had my family and people that I work with say, you'd be great at this high level in a corporate setting. I've had great jobs in my career and had progression, but there's a certain level where it gets into politics and it's something that I have no interest in. Making decisions based on what you truly feel in your gut and not for external validation is one of the best things that we can help people with. I love to get people out of this fear zone.
I know. Well, that's honestly, what I admire most about you is because you do. You just stay true to yourself. And you really do. Always. So.
Thank you. Thank you, I think.
Very inspired. No. And just by listening to you, I always, you keep me on track. Yeah. So I'm glad you can share that with everyone. Cool.
Next, in the world of Elle Woods, she goes on to the learning zone. So this is where you're dealing with challenges and problems because, oh, by the way, not making decisions by what other people think isn't always easy. But when Elle is humiliated on her first day by Professor Stromwell and sent away for being unprepared, that's when she realizes, whoa, this is serious. She decides to buckle down and work through the challenges. She steps up in the learning zone. And then because she does that, she goes on to the growth zone, which is the final one where you're finding your purpose and living your dreams. This is where Elle wins the Brooke Wyndham case by using her knowledge of perms. I think it's hypoxy glycogenate or something. That was the
sounds
crux.
right. It sounds right.
I know glauconate was in there.
Yeah, for sure. That was a really good example.
I loved it too. It's her journey is all of what we really mean. The character is shallow in the beginning and thinks her life is so full, but it's as fragile as a breakup. She has to really find her identity, and those are all the different phases. So there you have them.
Now it's time to ask CC, where you can write into the show with your work woes and questions so we can choose some each week to weigh in on them. So please write to us at askcc@thecareercorrective.com.
Yes.
All right, so we got a good one this week.
Yeah.
BB writes, I have joined a new company and was so excited because they talked about the growth mindset in the interview process and the support they provide for you to reach your career goals. And now that I am here, I see that it's completely different. My manager is a micromanager. She's fake and only cares about what leadership wants. I used to feel brave and actually have a growth mindset. Now I just want to hide in the corner. Help.
Okay.
I'm sorry, BB.
I'm sorry, BB, too. A lot of people go through this. I've dealt with this myself, and I have helped other people deal with it. We don't know why they're behaving this way. You're deducing from what you're seeing that she only cares what leadership wants and she's fake. We don't know what's going on in her world as far as what leadership is like to her. So we'll just say, for sake of this discussion, we're going to hone in on the negatives that are being brought into your life, regardless of why she's doing this. Number one, important for you to remember that you are not your job. Think of this in two different ways. One is you have to do what you need to do to survive at work, but the other piece is you want to make sure you preserve as much of who you are as a person. Don't let this experience, as much as possible, change your capability and how you want to be able to perform for yourself. I'm going to talk about both. The first thing, in dealing with your boss. Two things are helpful in dealing with a micromanager in general, and it sounds like it would be helpful here, is over communicating, giving them updates as much as possible. You said they care about what leadership thinks. So it would be taking what leadership wants, putting categories in your email template that define those areas, and then how your job matches up to those things, and have a weekly email that's ready to roll for your manager. And the other piece, starting to have conversations with your boss to understand more of what leadership wants so that you can use that information to give to your boss what they're looking for. Basically, make it about your boss. If she cares about it, regardless of why, get clarity about that. This is what I've done. As an example, I know leadership is really focused on Q1 goals, making sure our cost per hire at blah, blah, blah percent. Would it be helpful to you if I gave you a weekly update on our cost per hire, which I know creates more work, but they're asking you anyway? Right. That's an example of what I've done, and it's been successful. But this way, you can start to weave into your conversation, now that you've introduced this idea, what's leadership focusing on right now? I'd love to support you in that. And then if they ask you on Tuesday, like, yep, that'll be in the weekly email that you get on Thursdays. And then if you need to change the day of the week, you can. It's a way to create a habit for yourself to where it can reduce them harping so much on updates. Does that?
I think that makes sense. I like it.
I love the being proactive to anything to reduce a headache, but make it about them, give them regular updates, and then use that as the basis of your conversations with them. You can keep going back to that practice to modify it to see how it can be most helpful to your relationship. And then on the piece with don't lose yourself and don't lose what is making you happy or makes you excited about your job, is to have your boundaries and self-care. If you think more about all the things you can do to decompress on the way home, or if you work from home, a ritual that can shut down the workday to go into your personal life. I know it's hard, but you don't want to let a toxic work environment make you shrink as a person or make your life about that toxicity. It's just not worth it. And I know a lot of people will want to, if it is this severe, If you can't tolerate it, you'll want to move on from that job. And that is a great idea as long as you have tools to keep yourself afloat and in a positive mindset as possible until you're able to do that. So I think those are the things that I would suggest.
Very helpful. Thank you, Allie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right. Molly writes, I have been working at my company for 8 years. I have progressed to different levels, which I am happy about, but the culture seems to be changing, where everything is fake and you don't know what people really mean when they say something. Lots of false promises and double talk. What do I do? Oof.
Molly, I have been here. In every answer for all of these, self-care, boundaries, all of that is just, I won't say it every single time, but I mean, just taking care of yourself the best you can and focusing on other areas of your life in these terrible situations is always so helpful. But getting to the heart of how to handle this, focusing right in on fake. If you're not good with double talk, false promises, some people can roll with it. But if you're like me, and again, I have dealt with this, I am not. So the best thing that I've found to do is it almost creates a second job for yourself. And it's similar to what I just mentioned about the micromanager, but hold people accountable in a professional way. So if someone promises something, follow up with concrete questions about the timeline, specifics, details. When you're getting vague answers, ask for clarity. You're going to probably feel annoying, but I would just be that squeaky wheel as much as possible. I would put things in writing as much as possible. I would follow up in writing with things that were a verbal conversation. Anything you can do that has clarity. And also, as you're doing this, think about the people that you need to let into it. So if it's your boss, then if you have a mentor or someone else, you can ask, oh, is it common practice here for this and this? I was confused because I was told I would be promoted by such and so a date and I haven't seen anything happen. So just curious about the culture here. You can pick and choose wisely, but you always want to phrase it in a way that you're being curious, not negative. Get as clear as possible, follow up as much as possible, holding people accountable in writing as much as possible in a way that the tone is very neutral. So let me give you an example.
Okay.
So let's talk about a promotion. That is a big one. You'll be promoted probably in the next 6 months because you did this and this, and you've achieved that, and that's my goal for you. And then 6 months comes and you're not being promoted. All along that 6 months, you want to have those emails in writing to show, I'm so glad I could progress so well on the such and so project. We achieved this, this, and this. I know this will be very helpful to me when I'm achieving the intended promotion in 6 months. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So now you have all of these emails that are recapping what you've been told all along, as unfortunately for you in this environment, it's evidence. And then if it doesn't happen, you can follow up. You want all of that evidence and those emails to say, this is what we've talked about and it's such and so a date and now it's not happening. Where are we with this? If you can always show you're saving the company money or making things better for the company in the processes that you create, then you're always going to have a much better time in making the case for yourself.
Yeah. Very helpful.
Jenny, I thought we could talk about this process for people in a metaphor. I like to leave people with something to think about in their week until the next time we meet. So we talked about the comfort zone, the fear zone, the learning zone, and the growth zone through the story of Miss Elwoods.
Yes.
I'm putting you on the spot here. If
Okay. Ooh.
when you think about the comfort zone,
Okay.
it's safe and in control, which feels good.
Yes. So
Can
good.
you it feels so good.
So good.
Can you think of the downsides to the comfort zone? And then I'm going to try and make it a metaphor, like a little game.
Oh, okay. No, the downsides of the comfort zone is you feel stuck. You feel like you might want to take it to the next level, but you're just so anxious and scared to actually do that.
Okay. Could the comfort zone metaphor be you're at a theme park? I don't know, say maybe Disney.
So weird that you would choose Disney, but okay.
And you hear about this new roller coaster
Oh my
that looks
goodness.
so good.
Okay. Which one is it?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And you want to go on it. I'm not talking about people who don't have an interest in roller coasters. It's not about shaming you into doing something you don't want to do.
No.
Let's say you hear about Guardians of the Galaxy and you really want to go on it.
Okay.
And you're in the comfort zone and you stand outside and you just torture yourself and be like, nope, I'm not, even though I really want to go on, I'm not going on. Would that be a metaphor for the comfort zone?
Yeah, and that's actually happened to me.
You didn't go on?
No, I did, but I was nervous.
So you've been in the comfort zone and then eventually left it and went on the ride. And what did you feel after?
I felt amazing. I felt, excuse me, like I conquered my fear of the unknown. I didn't know what it was going to be like. I'm a little hesitant to go on roller coasters, but I wanted to have fun and I wanted to try something new.
Love it. Okay. So next is the fear zone.
Mm-hmm.
Affected by other people's opinions, finding excuses, lacking self-confidence. Can you think of any? Well, I just listed the downsides, I guess, and now I'm asking you, can you think of an example or a situation to illustrate that one?
The fears.
Like I want to do something, but I'm affected by someone's opinion, or I'm finding excuses because I don't have confidence in myself.
Well, I wanted to get up and dance when we went to go see live music. Remember when the ELO band was performing?
Yeah.
I wanted to dance, but I was nervous that I would be judged by other people.
Oh my God, this isn't even a joke. Okay, so this is a random way to let this out, but Jenny and I are cousins, have known each other our entire lives, and we're also best friends. But the amount of times that this girl has promised me, when we go, we're going to dance.
Yeah.
We're going to dance all night.
All night.
And then I'm on the dance floor. Where is she?
Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
And the sad thing is that you do love to dance.
And I'm pretty good at it.
You're amazing. And you find
the right
excuses
setting
because of others.
Yeah. I like to dance like...
You mean dark?
Well, so what? Dancing in the dark. I do.
Dancing in the... That sounds like
it's gotta be the right setting, Al.
All right. So I think we just decided that Jenny's going to get out of the fear zone, and we'll let you guys know the next time we go somewhere with music. It doesn't matter if the lights are bright, dance.
Like, have you ever seen the videos on TikTok? It's this guy goes to Target or the grocery store and he just starts dancing in the aisles and his choreography is on point. That is so cool. And people are just watching him. No big deal. And he's just doing his thing.
There's another guy on Instagram. His channel is him dancing, and it's to remixes of kind of country songs, Islands in the Stream, things like that.
Okay.
And we'll have to have Regina link this for you guys to see. It has him dancing and just these inspirational messages on there. Now is the time to break out of. So he's using dancing as a metaphor, and it's all for going into your growth zone, inspirational, and it makes me so happy. So I think we just decided everyone needs to dance. I'm pretty sure that's the message.
Maybe that's what I do this week. Maybe that's my goal for the week.
I would love that.
Just
You
dance.
guys will see that on the channel. Go from I won't dance in front of 50 people to I'll put it out on the internet.
Oh, I couldn't. I would dance with 50 people. It's true.
She's going to do it, you guys. But that was a great fear zone.
Yeah, thank you. It's a simple one, but
That's what I think make the best, most enjoyable examples.
right. You got to start somewhere.
The learning zone is where you deal with challenges and problems, acquiring new skills. You're getting ready to go into the growth zone. But I think it's crappy middle.
Yeah.
Where you're out of the fear zone because you're doing you.
Right.
But now it's where you have to pay the piper to be able to get to the growth zone. So it's hard work. I think we could use the 7 dwarves as the
I mean, that's the first example I think of.
metaphor here. I mean, it's Disney. They had sickles.
Dopey.
Doc.
Sleepy.
Who?
I'm just naming the
Sleepy. That's not a good example.
the dwarves.
The next one is the learning zone. This is where you have to put your money where your mouth is, Jenny, because you've decided you're going to go for something. So if
Okay.
you're going to go for it, you have to learn the skills, which will bring about challenges, frustration, issues, things like that. So can you think of a good one for where you would need to be in the learning zone?
Yeah, if you wanted to take up a new hobby or learn to play an instrument, something like that.
Yes. We open on a scene of a person doing chopsticks on a piano.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to play Mozart by the end of the week. Just kidding.
No pressure.
No pressure. Something that I think is really important to remember, that what you're learning and where you're going toward is to make it something that works for you. I read a book. It said, wouldn't it be a shame if the Beatles were trying to be like Mozart?
Right. Yes.
And that stuck with me because the message was, you have to be you, and whatever you're learning and going for, make sure it's in line with what, I mean, if you want to play the ukulele, then you should.
Live your dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the final one is the growth zone, finding purpose, living your dreams, setting new goals. And this is where the cycle will now repeat because you're in the growth zone. So you're just going to take this process of new things and just put it through so that you can keep adding and growing and expanding. I think the growth zone, the best example is whatever your ideal version of you. If you want to be in shape and you have an exercise regime you want to implement and how that can change over time, or you want to zen out more because stress is getting the best of you, whatever these habits and routines are that make you feel your best and give you purpose. You want to volunteer, to give back to others, things like that. That's where the growth zone lives. So the metaphor for that would just be, I think, clouds and living on a cloud in the best, most amazing place and style of life.
Yeah. With like the light, the sun shining on you.
Yeah, maybe some ocean waves coming across.
Yes. Just like very beautiful.
Very demure.
Very.
Not too much.
Not too much. No.
But what I want for you guys, our anxious achievers, to think about as far as your growth zone is to visualize all of what you truly want. And if you've been putting the picture of what you should be or should go for, I want you to click delete, delete it, delete that bullshit.
Yes, it is bullshit. So you should delete it.
Yeah, we don't like to should on you, but
No, never should.
in the best way, delete that because we want you to be you. We don't want you trying to be a Mozart when you're truly in your hat a Beatle.
You're a Beatle. Be your own Beatle.
If they want to be a Beatle. I mean, what if they want to be Belle Biv DeVoe?
You could be Belle Biv DeVoe. You could be Belle.
Biv.
Or DeVoe.
Yes. Wait, what do they sing?
Poison. Put poison.
Motown Philly?
That's Boys to Men.
Oh my God.
Is it terrible that I listen to Belle Biv DeVoe all the time?
I have this thing with my brain where I get two things confused that could have nothing to do with each other, like Rip Van Winkle and Rapunzel. I have no idea why.
No, I could understand that. I get that.
So it's like Belle Biv DeVoe from the same era as Boys to Men. Essentially, I get it confused. Rapunzel is an R and Rip Van Winkle is an R. I have no idea,
Yeah,
but get it confused. That's it. You're amazing. Anyway,
yeah, and it's funny. So
it's funny. So go with it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have a dance party next week. So I hope you guys join us for that because it's going to be amazing. And we will be featuring Jenny
dancing to Belle Biv DeVoe
and Rapunzel music and Rapunzel.
Now that you think about it, like, what about like Rumpelstiltskin? Do you get that?
Yeah, no, that's in there too.
Okay.
Rip Van Winkle, Rumpelstiltskin. There was this time my sister and I were going to a hike with my father, probably 25 years ago, and we had to ride over the Rip Van Winkle Bridge, which is located in the Hudson Valley area of New York. And I was telling her about this thing with my brain, Rip Van Winkle, Rapunzel, Rumpelstiltskin. There might have been somebody else in there. And I just mentioned it in passing. I was just lightly joking about myself. Yeah. And she was getting all stressed out. So she was, I need to break this down for you. And then she told me the stuff and it didn't stick. I think one of them spins gold. The other one fell asleep and the other one has long hair, but if I had to match them, it's anyone's guess.
Both go together though. You know, gold,
it's something with gold.
Hair, gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny's support of me is unwavering. Like, no, that you did your best, and it makes sense why you did that. You're all right.
It's fine. It's gotten you this far in life.
I know. I think it's important for people who have strong qualities in one area to show their vulnerability in others. So I'm just leading by example, you guys. I don't know the difference, and I don't care.
No.
But I have good advice on how to deal with your terrible boss. Okay?
Yes, 100%.
This was so much fun, Jenny. Thank you for doing this with me and talking to our listeners, our anxious achiever peeps. We are so glad you were here with us, and we hope you come back again next week because we will continue the conversation and the dance party.
Oh, you know it.
But in the meantime, have a great week, and we love you.
We love you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.